gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Lego Super Consumer. Next slide, please. This is our team. We're going to have only 3 speakers, but actually much more people contributed to this project. And the presentation purpose is, hi, my name is Leah Gobrik, and I'm a huge fan of Lego. I'd like to tell you a bit more about what a super consumer is and who are the AFOs. Let's get started. So here's the presentation outline. First, we're going to start with the definition of a super consumer and why brands love them. Then we're going to go into introduction to adult fans of Lego. Then, of course, we're going to talk about AFO's values and characteristics. And then, of course, a summary of Lego super consumer profile.
So, what defines a super consumer? First of all, the most important thing is that not only are they economically contributing, but they're also very emotionally attached to the product. So they're highly engaged and emotionally attached to a specific brand, in this case Lego. They're not price sensitive, and they're interested in innovating in the innovative use and variations of a product. They tend to have more occasions and jobs for a product too. Further, so brands, they also love their super consumers. Why do they do that? Because the super consumers, they devote time, passion, and support. They come up with new ideas and improvements for the product in order to sustain the brand. And they'll love you if you fail. So let's say they launch a product that really fails on the market. So the super consumers, they will defend their brand. They will support them anyway and maybe even help them get on the right track. They spend a lot of money. They will invest not only with the money but also with their time and skills.
Now I'd like to give you a short overview of the AFO community. AFO stands for Adult Fan of Lego, and it is a relatively small but very passionate confederacy of Lego builders worldwide. And they use online communities to share techniques, ideas, and pictures. They usually organize big Lego fairs, shows, and competitions, which are usually organized by Lego fans and not by Legos, which is a very special case. And they're really engaged into the Lego development, example given through the Lego Ideas platform, which is a platform where people can share their ideas, and if they get more than 10,000 likes, the person who at Lego will launch the product, and the person who invented that idea, who shared that idea, will get 1% of the revenues of that product. Here you can see like an example of an adult fan of Lego. This is Wayne Hussey, who spent a couple of $100,000 over the past 35 years on Lego, and he once said that they don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't spend money on things that we get nothing from, because Lego is their kind of addiction and their kind of drug. Here we have another example, which is Robin Souther. He's a Lego certified professional, and he said that there's no question it's an ego-stroking thing. If you have a creation and people go, oh, how did you make that? It's kind of what drives them, like to show their ideas.
So now let's talk about AFO values using the Schwartz Universal Values Map. So in a group of self-direction, we have creativity. Creativity is the love for the brick, fascination by the endless possibilities, and hedonism group, we're talking about pleasure. See, Lego is the art media. In group of achievements, we have a narrow subgroup intelligent, where Lego fans have a chance of putting imagination into tangible forms. So you have intelligence, and then you want to use your hands in doing something creative. And in the last group of security, we have a sense of belonging. To summarize it, would be the best, the quote which says, "We adults, we play with Lego and it's okay."
So in terms of the market segmentation factors, looking into the psychographics, Their lifestyle, they're characterized as weekend warriors, which means that they have normal jobs in their everyday life, but then they play in the weekends. They go to conventions. They contribute by teaching and facilitating their inventions, their big things, to children, to other adults, whatever. And for example, we have Nathan Savia, who's participating at legal conventions and building bricks, but he also has a normal day job in his everyday life. In terms of personality, they're very playful, analytic, and they're technically interested. They're introverted, but mostly they're just independent people with intelligent minds, and they like to be private. They're anti-conformist and ambitious. So in terms of the behavioristics, looking into the benefits, we can divide it into needs and wants. And in terms of the wants, they want to escape from the reality and live outside of the box. They want to socialize and connect to this kind of group or whatever. They want to belong somewhere, and this with the creation and engagement is a very important aspect. They want to share their skills. They want to share their knowledge through teaching, facilitation, and evangelism. And also in terms of the product, the needs, there's the quality, access, availability, uniqueness, variety, usage, and also new parts and characters, but never venture beyond the classic Lego feel.
Now, another part of the market segmentation factors is behavioristics and usage. Here you can see a picture of another alpha who really is a heavy user, and a master builder, certified professionals, and business to business. For example, with the 3D printing, there are some kind of companies who rebuild Lego figures which Lego doesn't build and try to sell them to share more advanced ideas. They're very brand loyal, and generally speaking, we have the 80-20 Pareto rule of thumb, which means that 20% of the customers are generating around 80% of the revenues. And if we go into more detail and look at the super consumers, we can see that around 10% of the super consumers are responsible for 90% of the whole revenues. Demographics. Generally, the super consumers of Lego are between 25 and 40 years, but if we're talking about the real super consumer, we recognize that most of them are 35 years old and older. Basically, they have engineering backgrounds, computer programmers, a lot of designers, like kind of people with a technical background. They are good in working with hands, and they have a medium to high income of approximately $100,000 yearly and more. Geographics, another segmentation factor. They usually live in urban areas. They really need big storage rooms. They have social clubs, and they are mostly clustered into the Northwest US.
Yeah, so just to sum up Lego's super consumer profile, we have a picture to your left with the super consumer. And of course, just to sum up, it's creativity, intelligence, and sense of belonging and pleasure that we highlight as the main characteristics in terms of values. We have a motto we created, which is live outside the brick. As you see here below, it's a normal office space, or not an office space, playground, sorry, for a Lego enthusiastic person. And it's just sum up a page for it. So hope you enjoyed.
Thank you for your time.